Hello everyone and welcome to Games, Comics and Crafts.
In this video, I'll be looking at Traveller Riftbreaker issue 1. Okay, so this is the latest Traveller comic from Mongoose and Mycosia. It's looks like another print and demand one. Again, got this from Amazon. I haven't got the PDF. I've only got the hard copy. But this is also a new story rather than being the third issue of the last story. But the third issue of the last one is out now. If you can get hold of it. Amazon seems to be having troubles at the moment. So this is a completely different story set in a slightly different time period. But yeah, it's interesting actually the time period setting. So basically it starts off in 1107, which is a little bit past the default setting for Traveller and Mongoose, except for they've now gone up to that time because of the Fifth Frontier War. So obviously we're kind of bordering on that kind of era now. This guy's a ex-boat pilot, and basically is getting very, very fed up with his life of just kind of doing these jump fives between systems and meeting like 4 people going off. They get to see a tender. The tender is supposed to like issue repairs to the ship, and they basically say, "Oh, you've had repairs." So, "Oh no, I just want some food and all this kind of stuff." It's like you're using up our resources. You shouldn't have to come on here. So he's kind of getting more and more depressed and kind of unhappy with his life. Um, and then he does a second jump towards a system that seems to be under threat from the no, I'm going to call them Zodini because that's how I call it. Some people do the Zodani. I have no idea which one it is, but since the old DOS game that came out on the PC decades ago, it's always been the Zodini. Um, so he basically kind of ejects from the ship and effectively tries to kill himself by exposing himself to vacuum, or at least not, having his oxygen levels run out. People who rescue him seem to suggest or seem to believe that it was because he was trying to keep the secret safe of the actual ship, and they want the codes. Now, it's not actually kind of detailed in here whether or not the people who kind of rescue him actually the bad guys who want to use the codes, and he's kind of like accidentally giving away the codes to all this secret information to the bad guys, or if they're the good guys. There seems to be a mix of people as well, so there's no kind of general idea of which one's which. Um, so yeah, so it's kind of at his lowest point then, and he kind of like he gets better, and then we skip forward 3 years now, so we're 1110, so we're well into the the future of Traveller. Um, and he's decided now to go and see if he can find a ship on another system. There's a Vargear here that kind of is supposed to be on his buddy. They kind of try and find a scout ship. I believe it is a whip, which was from the Traveller Companion. I could be wrong. Um, and they look at this ship, and this ship is a complete wreck basically, and it's not particularly good, and it's got faults and this kind of stuff as well. They take it out for a bit of a spin around to give it a kind of a test drive, and it's terrible. They almost crash it. They go and complain to the guy who was kind of in charge, and it turns out this guy's running a smuggling operation, and they managed to save him. They use a stunner on him, which is again brilliant because a stunner looks like it just does in the game. It's fantastic. Someone's done their reference research, which is brilliant. Anyway, they rescue the guy and basically say, "Okay, we know you're running an operation. Let us know. We're going to tell the authorities. Oh no, don't tell the authorities. I'll give you a nice shiny ship if you don't." So they allow access to this scout ship, and they get something a little bit more shiny. So this ship apparently is obviously a jump to scout ship. Um, and the guy's idea basically is he is trying to take it across the rift. And he kind of quotes back to all like the old humans explorers that ventured out into space and kind of all this other stuff, which is again not nice. And saying it's an impossible thing to do, but we're going to try it anyway. So off they set off to go and jump across the rift. Now that's quite cool. Then we go to the traveler rule set, which actually tells you about how you could possibly do it with a jump to ship with no refill points along the way. Um, which is nice. There's definitely some more stuff in here. Some illustrations of the drone and in the actual drone itself, and then we get the actual ship itself, which is really cool. So I don't know. I've not looked in much detail whether this is a standard ship or if this is a something a little bit more special. No thrust to, jump to. Okay. Um. Anyway, so yeah, it's always nice to get a few character stats, and these rules are quite cool as well because they've got some extra bits and bobs here about refueling tanks from melting ice and all this kind of stuff as well, and some deck plans. So yeah, it's a interesting idea for a story because again, the guy there's a there is a warning, what you call it, what I suppose nowadays we call it a trigger warning, but there's a warning there basically about a guy because the guy tries to commit suicide. Um, yes, he does, but after getting himself out of that shitty situation, he actually finds something he really wants to do with his life, and he's actually seems to be massively happy about it. So I think that's a really good positive take on the character. The character actually realizes, no, I want to live because there's something I really want to do. I want to break the mold, kind of thing. So, and that's a good thing for anybody to want to try and do. Follow your dreams, as it were. Artwork in this is nice. I much prefer this one to the other series because it's got black outlines and it's a lot easier to actually make out who's who. I think the characterization of the characters is easier to see because of the actual pen strokes rather than kind of just having it kind of wash of color. It probably could be brighter because again, I think the printing on this paper it always seems to dull stuff down. PDF might look a lot better. Um, but yeah, it's easy read. I mean, I found it's much more easier to read than the other one, purely because of the art being a lot crisper, and it's easy to kind of make out who's who. I mean, it helps that you've got a guy with a beard, a Vargear, and a whip. Yeah, I mean, you can't really mistake one for the other, so that's pretty handy as well. But yeah, I think this is a good issue. So yeah, definitely looking forward to more to this. I'm not too sure what's happening with the other series, whether or not it's 3 issues and done, or if it's going to be a few more issues after that. But I know on the Traveller website they are asking people to vote for what kind of stories you'd like to see. You know, personally, anything that's kind of like a Traveller game, bit of trading, bit of larceny, bit of rescuing people, and even kind of maybe fulfilling some of the adventures we've seen before. Like a Quest for the Ancients series or something where they go do all the ancient stuff. That'd be really cool. But yeah, travel stuff. Yeah, more than happy to read this. The bonus stuff at the back is always good, and I'm hoping at some point they kind of reprint that in another book so that people that haven't got this can kind of not everyone reads comics, but if you play Traveller, you'd probably like the information. So it'd be nice to probably get this even if it's like a little PDF somewhere that costs like $5 as Riftbreaker rules and yeah. Anyway, good series, not too bad at all. So that's pretty much all I can say about this one. So thank you for listening if you have indeed listened to this entire rambling. And hopefully I will see you on the next video. Thanks very much. Bye bye.